Now, if somebody were to ask me what's the most important component of doing a project in a community, I would have to say goal setting. And I know for some of you, you might think, oh my goodness, I've never done goal setting for an event. But the reality is what goal setting does is it helps you to articulate exactly what you're trying to aim for before you start planning your event. So time and time again, I've seen community festivals run. I've seen all of these things and they don't set their goals and then they decide, oh, well, a festival has a jumping castle. Well, the reality is if you've got a jumping castle, what's the point if you don't have a clear goal as to the purpose that it's there? So a really well-crafted community event has a clear purpose and everything fits within that purpose. So your task right now is to start to develop some goals. Now, you've already got an aim, which is kind of like your North Star. That's the direction that you're going. But we need to actually clarify, what does success look like? What does it mean? What would be missing if this event failed? Okay, so as an example, if we think, okay, well, our aim is around developing a family festival to build community. Okay, so it's a North Star. It's family festival, that sounds great. Building community, that sounds great, but it's not specific. It doesn't give us any detail as to what we're trying to achieve. So there's this idea, and you've probably heard of it before, but we're just going to recap it, of SMART goals. Now, what a SMART goal does is it's a set of criteria that forces you to write really, really good goals. So it means that every goal that you write has to fulfill this criteria, and we'll just step through them. So SMART stands for specific. So specific means it has to be really, really clear what success looks like and where the line between success and failure might be. So it might be that you want to run a family event and part of it's about social connectedness. And so your goal, you could say, that people talk to one another. Okay, that could be a goal. But if you look at that goal and you ask it, is it specific? And it's like, no, it's not specific at all. What if people come and they talk to one another and then they don't like one another and then they storm off in a huff? Have we achieved our goal? No, because it's not specific enough. Whereas a specific goal might be that that people would meet on average 2 people that they'd never spoken to before and have a good chat. That people would sit around for longer than 10 minutes. So really, really specific. The next one is measurable. Okay, so you might say that you want people to feel nice. But unless you can measure that, you don't actually know what it is. Now, we're going to talk about evaluation a bit later, but think about, how do you know whether this has happened? Can you observe it? Can you ask people whether it's happened? Can you count it? Is it measurable? If it's not measurable, it's not going to be an effective goal. Is it achievable? There is no point saying you want to, improve the health of the entire country in a 10-minute video on YouTube. So ask yourself, have we gotten close to this in the past? Are we going to be able to achieve this with what we've got in our kind of little community? Is this possible? No point setting goals that are not possible. You're just going to be disappointed or deluded if that happens. Is it relevant? So think about your aim, the aim of the project, but also broader, what's the aim of the organization that you're a part of? Okay, make sure that it's relevant to those aims. And then, importantly, is it time-bound? Now, obviously, if you're running if you're running a day, then everything becomes time-bound because it's obvious. But if you're writing, a community history, you need to make sure that there are clear time guidelines to make sure that you get things done. So, what I want you to do is I want you to revisit your aim, discuss what your aim is, and then as a group, come up with 5 to 10 goals. What does success look like if you achieve this aim? And then, after you do that, go through and ask yourself, is it specific? Is it measurable? Is it achievable? Is it relevant? Is it time-bound? And if it's not, adjust it to make sure that it is. Now, what you'll find by doing this is you'll start having ideas about how to achieve these goals. Okay, so there was one event where I was organizing and I said, what I want for people to talk between generations. I want people of older people to talk to younger people. And so when we created the event, we ended up having a snake tent or something because we thought that would encourage younger and older people to focus on something and talk together. And what we did is we watched to see whether that would happen. And there was a great photo at the end of the day of 3 hands, an older hand, a middle-aged hand, and a younger hand holding a snake together. And for us, that captured this idea that we'd achieved our objective of connecting older and younger people around a common interest. Okay? So the goals really this marks the point at which you're halfway there once you've established your goals. Because once you've got your goals set, it becomes really simple to work out exactly how you're going to run your project. So get together with your group, revisit your aim, write up 5 to 10 goals, ask yourself those 5 questions as to whether it's smart or not. I've got that information in the worksheet that you'll be able to see. And yeah, I look forward to seeing what you can come up with. Thanks.